Walter's paper, and the latter's colleague and associate in many business transactions. Duroy hoped, later on, that some of the benefits promised by him to Forestier might fall to his share. They would be given to Madeleine's new husband, that was all. Nothing was changed. Even his associates sometimes called him Forestier, and it made Duroy furious at the dead. He grew to hate the very name. It was to him almost an insult. Even at home, the obsession continued. The entire house reminded him of Charles. One evening, Duroy, who liked sweetmeats, asked, "Why do we never have sweets?" His wife replied pleasantly, "I never think of it, because Charles disliked them." He interrupted her with an impatient gesture. "Do you know, I'm getting tired of Charles. It is Charles here, Charles there. Charles liked this, Charles liked that. Since Charles is dead, let him rest in peace." Madeleine ascribed her husband's burst of ill humor to puerile jealousy, but she was flattered and did not reply. On retiring, haunted by the same thought, he asked, "Did Charles wear a cotton nightcap to keep the draught out of his ears?" She replied pleasantly, "No, a lace one." Georges shrugged his shoulders and said scornfully, "What a bird!" From that time, Georges never called Charles anything but "Poor Charles," with an accent of infinite pity. One evening, as Duroy was smoking a cigarette at his window toward the end of June, the heat awoke in him a desire for fresh air. He asked, "My little Mad, would you like to go as far as the Bois?" "Yes, certainly." They took an open carriage and drove to the Avenue du Bois de Boulogne. It was a sultry evening. A host of cabs lined the drive, one behind another. When the carriage containing Georges and Madeleine reached the turning which led to the fortifications, they kissed one another, and Madeleine stammered in confusion, "We are as childish as we were at Rouen." The road they followed was not so much frequented. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves of the trees. The sky was studded with brilliant stars, and Georges murmured as he pressed his wife to his breast, "Oh, my little Mad." She said to him, "Do you remember how gloomy the forest at Canteleu was? It seemed to me that it was full of horrible beasts and that it was interminable, while here it is charming. One can feel the caressing breezes, and I know that Sèvres is on the other side." He replied, "In our forests there are nothing but stags, foxes, roebucks, and boars, with here and there a forester's house." He paused for a moment and then asked, "Did you come here in the evening with Charles occasionally?" She replied, "Frequently." He felt a desire to return home at once. Forestier's image haunted him, however. He could think of nothing else. The carriage rolled on toward the Arc de Triomphe and joined the stream of carriages returning home. As Georges remained silent, his wife, who divined his thoughts, asked in her soft voice, "Of what are you thinking? For half an hour you have not uttered a word." He replied with a sneer, "I am thinking of all those fools who kiss one another, and I believe truly that there is something else to be done in life." She whispered, "Yes, but it is nice sometimes. It is nice when one has nothing better to do." Georges's thoughts were busy with the dead. He said to himself angrily, "I am foolish to worry, to torment myself as I have done." After remonstrating thus with himself, he felt more reconciled to the thought of Forestier, and felt like exclaiming, "Good evening, old fellow." Madeleine, who was bored by his silence, asked, "Shall we go to Tortoni's for ices before returning home?" He glanced at her from his corner and thought, "She is pretty. So much the better. Tit for tat, my comrade. But if they begin again to annoy me with you, it will get somewhat hot at the North Pole." Then he replied, "Certainly, my darling," and before she had time to think, he kissed her. It seemed to Madeleine that her husband's lips were icy. However, he smiled as usual, and gave her his hand to assist her to alight at the cafe. End of chapter 10. Recording by Martin Geeson in Hazelmere, Surrey.